Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. I am Jim Hacking. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Romel's in the waiting room. Hopefully he can hear me. Somebody let me know. We got a new setup here. I don't know about these headsets. I'm not hearing anything, so I might just take those off. Let's see. I'll take those off for now. Can you guys hear me okay? Woo, look at that hair. Boom. Nothing but high production value around here at the old Hacking Immigration Law Firm. Hope you all are well. Today is Monday, the 23rd day of May. Awesome. People can hear me. If you haven't done it already, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We are, as you can see, a new setup. I'm talking to this camera, but I got people over here where I'm talking to them. So hopefully it'll all work out. Hopefully we'll get this thing going. We're going to build out the studio a little bit better and a little bit more impressively. We have been doing great this weekend. I had a great weekend. Hung out with my kids most of the weekend, and we had some videos that did really well. We did a video on Friday and a video yesterday on Sunday. The one yesterday was about the Supreme Court decision in Patel versus Garland. And then we also talked about the state of green cards and why they're taking so long in 2022. So I got my water. I got people in the waiting room. I got people letting me know where they're watching from. And I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Let's say hi to Romel and see how he's doing. Hey, Romel, how are you doing, buddy?
Hello, sir. Very fine. Nice setup. I'm
Yeah,
kind
we're
of
getting
jealous.
there. We're getting there. I don't know. These headsets didn't really work, so we'll see about that. But yeah, I think the overall setup is good. I think I need to.
Love the mic though. It's really cool.
The mic sounds great. I'm going to get another one for my
Sounds.
office, but this is going to become our studio. But yeah, the sound on this just sounds great. I think, and the picture looks a lot better. We got the lighting right, and I think it's going to come together pretty
All
nicely.
very cinematic, all very Scorsese, Kubrick. I don't know who's the new director.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor and drop the comments or drop the place for people to get into the waiting room?
Yes, of
And
course, sir.
and remember, guys, if you're in the waiting room and you want to come on, just show your face so that I know you're there. You don't have to be on camera when you come on, but just so that I know you're there if you want to come on. Romel, how was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was great. I ate a lot of pizza, but it was just like a normal weekend.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
What
starting
about
to turn.
yours?
It's starting to turn cold down there, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm with my sweater and getting all freeze and drinking coffee and stuff.
Yeah, well, we're just starting to warm up, so our summer's right around the corner. But yeah, for sure. All right, I'm going to drop you back down into the waiting room. Please keep track of everybody on the comments, and then we'll
Yes,
go
sir.
from there. All right, buddy. Let's go ahead and say hi to Amr. Hi, Amr.
Hello there. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good.
So, what can I help you with?
I had some questions around the H1B visa and business startup that I was trying to think about. Do you want me to pose you with questions right now, or?
Yeah, that's how it usually works. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I quit my job in H1B, and this Wednesday is my last day. The I-94 expires in November 2023. So I wanted to see what options do I have to stay in the United States and look for another job.
Are you serious? You quit your job without knowing the answer to this question?
Yep.
Why would you do that?
There was a lot of stress going on. I was actually on pills to not go through that stress. I had this documented incidents of employer abuse for like, I don't know, 2 years. I've submitted that to the HR, to my employer and the client, and I got nothing. So I was like, I can't do any more of this. I can't take any more of this abuse. I've personally talked to all the upper management saying, guys, we need to solve this. I'm not just me, other people are also getting affected. And I have documentation to prove all of that. And I was like, at like final point, I couldn't take it. And I was like, all right, I'm out. I need to take care of my mental health. And yeah, that was about it.
What is your what is your field of study? What's your industry?
Information technology.
Okay, so do you think it'll be hard to find another job?
No, it's pretty hot right now.
Yeah, I would think. So you have 60 days grace period before you have to leave the United States. So as of Wednesday, you'll have 60 days to find something else. What's your plan?
Well, I have been applying for jobs aggressively, and all of my managers and directors of the company have been recommending to the jobs over there. So I've been, the plan right now is to just find another job. In addition to that, I hold a lot of knowledge as well from the current company. So I was thinking maybe I can open my own LLC and contract my services out to them. Is that something? That's my second question. Is that something that I can do, and can I sponsor myself with H1B while I'm able to do that?
In theory, you could do that if you had a company that was up and running, but the idea that you're going to form a startup, sign a contract, hire yourself, and get this H1B approved, I think USCIS would not approve this. If it was an ongoing business that had other employees that's been going on for a while, I think maybe you could go to work for yourself, but not in the time frame that we're talking about.
Gotcha. So then, yeah, right now the plan is to find another full-time job with an employer who's ready to sponsor my visa right now.
So there's a great website called myvisajobs.com,
Mhm.
myvisajobs.com. If you go in there, you can put in your occupation and your state, and you can run a search to see who has sponsored people for H1Bs in the past, because that's going to be your best bet, because they've already gone through the process. You don't have to explain it to them. They'll just be glad to have somebody, and you'll be able to, I think, pull off what you want to pull off, but you're on a really tight schedule.
Yep. So the lawyer that I consulted before I did all these things, well, who worked at my employer, I said, "Hey, I've been talking about this with my HR for some time, and I can't take this anymore." And like they said, I have the 60-day grace period to reinstate my H1B visa, but then my I-94 is still valid till November 2023, so I can still stay in the United States legally, is what they said.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that something? Sorry, what?
That's correct.
All right, so what? So I can still stay in the United States and find a job and still get back to my H1B status. How does that
You
work?
can't start working until the H1B receipt notice is issued by the USCIS for the new employer. So you need to find an employer who's willing to sponsor you, who files all the paperwork and hopefully pays for premium processing, and then gets the receipt back. And once the receipt's back, you can get back to work. And that receipt has to come within these 60 days that you have. So you're really under a tight schedule. If you had talked to me beforehand, I would have said, don't quit, find your new job, then quit. But it is what it is.
Yep. Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck, Amr. Sorry you're going through all that. All right. Let's say hi to Matthew. Hi, Matthew.
Hey, Jim.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good, good. What can I help you with?
Good. I have a quick question. So I got my green card approved somewhere around December of 2021, and my wife just filed a divorce on I think on Friday, May 20th. So, but I realized that she made a mistake. I don't know whether it was deliberate or something, but on the form, she was supposed to give a date when we separated, and she gave the date as January, which I think is not correct. So I wanted to know if I should.
Hold on. What does that mean? You think it's not correct?
Okay, so the last time we actually got released by our pastor, just last Monday.
When did you stop
So
living together?
I think she left here by April 23rd. That was the last time she came to me.
So can you think of any reason why she would have said January?
So when I spoke to her this morning, she said January because we started having issues in January.
Is there a requirement in the state you live in that you be separated for a certain amount of time before you can file for divorce? That's probably why she did it.
I don't know. We are in Missouri, St. Louis. So
Okay.
yeah. So I just wanted to find out. Okay, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let's back up. Where are you from?
I'm from Ghana.
When did you come to the United States?
2018, August.
What kind of a visa did you have when you came in August of 2018?
F1,
And where did you go to school?
Webster.
Are you still in school?
No, I'm done. I'm working now.
When did you graduate?
2019 December.
So would you get a master's degree or something?
Yes, please.
Okay. And so when did you get married?
2020 April.
April of 2020. Okay. And how long had you known your spouse before you got married?
So since 2018 we've been we're in the same church since 2018.
So like as soon as you moved here, you met her, or you knew her before you came?
No, I met her in the church. Yep.
So you're sitting in Ghana, you get accepted at Webster University, you get an F1, you come to live in, of all places, beautiful Webster Groves, Missouri, where I used to live. And then while there, you start going to a church, and at the church, you meet the woman that you eventually married. You get married in 2020. You get a 2-year green card, and a month after you get that green card, well, at least on paper, she says you're separated, and then she files for divorce in the middle of May 2022.
Yep.
So what's the question?
So the question is, I'm trying to contest the date because that is not. I think I don't know what she's trying to hide, but
Okay.
I think she shouldn't put January 2020. Yeah, 2022 as the date we separated, because that's not correct.
I mean, that's just an allegation. That's not fact. So you can contest all that. That's the least of your concerns. To me, the bigger concern is that you weren't married that long. And did you file the I-751?
No.
Yeah, wait. No, you wouldn't have to yet. Yeah. So your green card just started in December last year?
Yep, December. Yeah, 10.
Okay.
Yep.
So you have 2 years to file that. But okay, so yeah, so you're going to have to prove that it was a real marriage when you file that 751, and you're going to have to file it without her, which means you're going to need a waiver. If I were to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is we don't have a lot of marital evidence and 10 is we have a ton of marital evidence, what would you say that you are?
So that depends on what is being requested, because I mean, at the time we submitted our forms, we were on the same health insurance, on the same auto insurance. We had a bank account together.
Did you use the bank account?
Yep.
Did you both put money into the bank account?
Yep.
Okay. And okay, so really your marriage is going to have lasted about 2 years and a couple months. Is that right?
Yeah. No, it passed 2 years. It was in April. We passed 2 years in April.
Yeah. Okay. So are you asking me, like, do I think you're gonna have a hard time getting this approved for the 10-year green card, or what do you want to know?
Yeah. So my first question is, I wanted to know if I needed to do the contest the date that she put on the petition.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to contest the divorce anyway, right? Like, you're going to file. Are you going to get an attorney for the divorce?
Yeah. So I just got she filed through I think it was an e-file. So I'm trying to get my answers ready. But the one thing that I saw, the only thing that piqued my attention was the date she put on the separation.
It'd be better if she didn't say that, and you can contest it in the divorce. But the problem with the relationship is much bigger than whether she put January or April.
Okay. So you think it's something that I shouldn't be bothered about?
I mean, I'd be more worried about the fact that my wife filed for divorce shortly after I got my green card than I would about the exact date.
Okay. So the second question is, I think I've seen somewhere that you don't have to wait until when you get a divorce immediately after your conditional green card, you don't have to wait until the expiration.
Correct.
But you can go ahead and file straightforward.
Yep, and you have to get the divorce finalized. So if you were towards the end of the 2 years, that's more of a problem. But yeah, you won't have to wait. But I would focus right now. If I were you, my two main things that I'd be focusing on are, number one, how do I get as much documentation that this marriage was valid as it's ending. I want to get as much evidence from any accounts we have, any paperwork I can get, anything that shows both our names on it, anything that proved where did we live. What was your living arrangement? Did you have a lease, or did you buy property, or what?
It was a lease. Yeah. was an apartment.
Yeah. So, and then, the other thing I always tell people in this situation, Matthew, is that, we always come back to how's the U.S. citizen. I mean, obviously she just filed for divorce, so she's probably not a big fan of yours right now. But if things calm down and the divorce goes smoothly, and say 6 months from now, we start thinking about filing the 751 without her, could we at least get an affidavit from her that says, yeah, this was a real marriage. Yeah, we went to church every week. Yeah, we went to counseling with the pastor and things just didn't work out. If we could get an affidavit from her like that, and then she says, I think Matthew's a good person and I think he should keep his green card, that would be very helpful. So if that should be your goal, sort of like, don't make a big stink in the divorce, try to work it out nicely so that you're on the same page. And then hopefully you can have an immigration lawyer talk to her and hopefully get a statement from her that says, yeah, it was real marriage, it just didn't work out. That's good and important for two reasons. Number one, it's good evidence, right? It's going to help your case overall. But two, there's always that fear that they're going to knock on her door and try and get her to say bad things about you. And if we already have it in sworn statement in writing, they're less likely to do that, or it's less likely to be as powerful.
Okay.
Make sense?
Sure.
Awesome.
So I
Good
guess
luck, Matthew. Yeah.
I want to reach out to you. Yeah, I probably would have to reach out to your office so we can start getting.
Tell them. Yeah, just say I was on the show with Jim on Monday. I want to file a 751 solo. It's funny. We used to share space with some guys. I just ran into them there in the building next to us, and the guy that I always refer to for divorce is a guy named Jim McMullen. So if you want his information, we can get that for you. He's very reasonable. Does not a lot of drama. He's just very straightforward. So he and another guy are who we refer a lot of our divorce stuff to here in St. Louis. So if you need help with that, just let us know.
Okay.
Thanks, my friend. Sorry you're going through this. Take care.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Bye, Matthew. All right. I'm sort of liking this setup. I wonder, how are the comments? Are people liking this? I don't know. Let's see. Let's say hi to Lulu.
Hello, Jim.
There he is. How you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, I have a hypothetical question for you.
Lay it on me.
If a 751 hypothetically is denied, and they give a very lengthy reason for denial, they list out about 73, 75 claims for denial. The decision is to refile the case over. Would you recommend that each of the claims USCIS stated as their denial, even if it's monotonous, even if it's repetitive, would you advise that each of those claims be addressed as part of the refile, or
No. No. The worst thing you can be in a brief is repetitive, and you don't want to repeat yourself 20 times. I see immigrants do this all the time when they file without a lawyer. The point of using a lawyer is that they know how to consolidate the arguments into an organized fashion so that it's in the way that the officer is used to receiving it. And so I think two things. Number one, you don't ever want to be repetitive. You want to group your issues together, say it once, say it strongly, and move on. Number two, if you're filing a whole new case, you don't want to lead off by attacking the prior decision. You attack the prior decision and you make that like 20% of your new filing. You don't want to make that overwhelming, because then you're just relitigating the old case.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. That's it.
That was easy.
Yeah, because I was wondering if not responding to each of the lines would actually trigger an RFE or an interview.
Nope.
Yeah. No. We'll set a refile.
Especially on a new filing, you don't want to, like I said, relitigate the old case. You want to show why you win, and then you sort of treat the old denial like it's just bothering you a little bit, and you're dusting it off your shoulder.
Okay. Will such a case trigger or prompt an interview likely?
Sure. Sure.
For certain.
Yeah, if you had a 751 denied, the idea that you're going to get a new one approved without an interview, we've had it happen before, but that's pretty rare.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Lulu. See you, buddy.
Thank you. All right, sure, bye.
Bye. All right, next up, Althea.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I didn't.
Hi,
Yeah,
guys.
we have kind of theoretical question as well. Two
Oh,
questions.
we're getting lots of hypothetical, theoretical questions today. Go for it.
Yeah, well, reached out to your office, but we were redirected to this channel, so that's why we're here. And so the first question is there is some kind of expiration date for the for if my husband won an H1B visa but have never processed the case. Yeah, so that's the first one.
Yeah, so it's like a short story that I won the H1B, but unfortunately because of COVID, my case was suspended by the work, and until now.
Hold on. So you mean the employer no longer wants to sponsor you for an H1B?
No, they won, but because of COVID, we're from Ukraine. Because of COVID, the H1B process took like more than 3 months, and
So that's
customers.
that's the reason why my husband got an offer, but it never got actually processed because the pandemic started and the employer didn't want to wait for too long for the employee to come to US. So that's why we didn't even he didn't even sign the contract or something.
No,
So-
it's not like that.
Okay, so was this last year's H1B or this year's H1B?
Oh, 2018.
2018? That was before there were any problems in Ukraine. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, but like I had to complete my current job, so it took like 1 year, and then the pandemic started.
The pandemic started in
the main
2020.
Like in 2 years, yeah.
So I don't
yeah,
understand.
like
this is
it's,
a very
I also
so
yeah,
so
sorry,
what do
I
you,
just
you're
I won
asking
the
me.
lottery.
Okay, so you got
Yeah,
so
okay.
the employer filed for the lottery and got selected. Actually, back then in 2018, you just submitted the whole packet. That was they did the lottery after you submitted. So they submitted an H1B application for you. You get selected in the lottery, and so now we're talking summer of 2018. And the employer notifies USCIS and says, this guy's not really coming. We're done with this. Please close the file. Is that the question?
Yeah, I missed the important part that it was denied because
the H1B
I mean,
was
it
denied.
wasn't denied.
Hold on.
It was yeah.
We can't both talk at the same time because so USCIS, it wasn't that the employer withdrew the H1B, it was USCIS denied the H1B. Is that right?
They requested additional documents proving that I'm eligible for H1B because my education didn't match the position that.
And then the employer said, forget it. We're tired of dealing with this.
So they asked me to provide evidence from the previous job that I
And what
provided,
happened?
and finally it was approved.
So you said it was denied, and then you said it was approved.
It was a wrong word about denied. They requested additional documents. So
Okay.
I can tell you how exactly.
So then the H1B gets approved, but then you never came.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Why didn't you come?
Oh, it's a long story.
Okay. Well,
So
I mean, I think for the most part, the answer to your question is that case is over and you're starting over. Whether or not you count against the cap or not, I'd have to look at all your paperwork, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I think your case is probably over.
Okay, got it.
Thank you. And the second question is that like we're currently living in Germany, but eventually want to end up in US, and we both want to work. And my husband is a software engineer, and I'm a medical doctor. And I'm currently I'm in a process of the USMLE examinations to get eligible to participate in the residency in US.
Yeah.
And most likely I will be ready to apply for it only next year. And our question is like, if my husband now will get another job visa, and I will get a spouse visa, so like a dependent visa. For example, it's also H1B for him and H4 for me.
Right.
Yeah, like in a year, like in 2 years from now, let's say like I have H4 visa and I apply for the residency in US, and I find like, and I am selected by a program which like will also sponsor my H1B visa.
Yeah.
Can this actually happen? So like, can I transition from H4 visa to H1B visa?
In theory, it's possible. You might have to leave the United States and go get a new stamp, because changes of status from H4 to H1B, or changes from one non-immigrant status to another right now, are taking like a year. It's just not as easy as it should be, or as it used to be.
So, for example, if I get selected for a like residency program in March, there is no way I will change my status before June.
No. Now you'd have to leave the United States and try to get a stamp and a passport.
So like, I need to go, like, for example, if there is no war in Ukraine right now, and I'm a Ukrainian citizen, so I will need to go back to Ukraine.
You'd have to go to you'd have to go to another embassy. Obviously, you can't go back to Ukraine now, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like in 2 years, for example.
Yeah, you'd have to go to another, because if you found out in March and then filed for a change of status in March, it would take until the following March for them to approve it, for USCIS to approve it. So your only shot would be file a DS-160, go to the embassy, and try to get them to approve it. That's going to be tricky though, because embassies don't like doing third country visa stamps. So you might be able to do it in Canada because it's Ukraine, but for most other countries you can't. If things are okay in the home country, usually you'd have to, like you said, go back to the home country.
So like it is possible, but I will need to go to like another country and apply for US embassies there to get a visa, even though I will be on H4 visa in US.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye. Yep. All right. Let's say hi to Daria. Hi, Daria.
Hi, Jim. Nice to see you. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. I have a specific question about our situation. You chatted with my husband. We filed mandamus with you for EB2 national interest waiver, and we got RFE. And now we're answering RFE with another advocate company. So the question is the following. RFE has a date to be answered 17th of July. But if I'm not wrong, now there is a document which allows to answer 60 days after the date. So we are under mandamus. Can we answer it 60 days after 17 July?
You can, but why would you? Why take so long?
Because we just now started to work on it, and maybe we will answer earlier, but I just would like to know if everything will be fine if we answer later than 17 July. We don't know how things gonna, I don't know exactly how much time gonna take. to answer well this everything.
I would encourage you strongly. I mean, July is still 2 months away. I don't know what another 2 months is going to get you. You have filed a lawsuit in federal court asking a judge to get them to hurry up. They hurried up, and now you want to go slow. That's inconsistent with what you're asking the judge, and that's the kind of thing that makes the U.S. attorney and the judge angry. So I would encourage you to do everything you can to file it as soon as possible, not even waiting till July.
I got it, but my doubt in this is the following. We asked them to hurry because they were like delayed more than is reasonable, but we are not delaying more than reasonable. We are just following their rules.
It's not about whose delay is now reasonable. It's that we are the ones suing them, saying hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and now, oh wait, we need more time. That's not good. You're asking my opinion. My opinion is that's not good.
I got it. So it's like it's under the law, but this is not good from the perspective of the judge who's judging the case. Correct?
Correct. I'd say get it done in 2 or 3 weeks, not 4 months.
I got it. Okay, I got your point, but that's okay. I got it. So we will answer before 17 July.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
Bye, Daria. See ya.
Bye. Thank you.
Yep. Bye. All right. Let's say hi to DT. What's up, DT?
Hey, Jim. So I'm an American citizen.
Nice.
And I've been dating a Filipino J1 for about 5 months now. So I'm not so worried, and we're interested in getting married. And so I'm not interested in getting married too soon. But I saw your video a couple weeks ago about and the point that stuck with me was getting married. Let's see. I guess you said something about normal people get married in a certain amount of time. And what is that?
I don't know who's a normal person these days, but
I got that from your video. So
yeah.
I'm wondering about what the I guess she has 1 more year valid on her J1.
Mm-hmm.
And so what timeline should I be considering?
What kind of a J1 is it, DT?
Let's see. It was 3 years. Oh, a teaching, and then it was 3 years, and they got 2 years extension. And I understand the teachers were hoping to get a H1B extension beyond that, but I don't think they've heard back about that. And so, and then I guess they're subject to the 2-year.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, the 2-year homestay, I guess it's called.
Do you know how that works?
I did watch some videos, and I understand they have to leave the country for 2 years unless they get a extreme hardship waiver for the U.S. citizen. And I understand every case is different, so I'd have to hire a firm like yours to help me with that.
Who paid for her studies? Who's financing the program that she's in?
I think, from what I understand, one of those agencies. I don't think it's the government.
Okay. Well, I would spend a lot of time. I would spend time now, because this is going to impact everything that we're talking about, right?
Okay.
So this is the 212E, which is the 2-year home residency requirement.
Okay.
That's the most important thing here. When you get married and when you get started, that's almost sort of secondary, right? So the hard part here is going to be this 2-year residency. And to me, I honestly don't know, DT, if I've ever heard of someone being on a blanket J1 for 3 years. That's really far out. And to me, that suggests like graduate school, probably expensive, probably, $20,000-$30,000 a year. If you're talking 3 years, that's 30,000 times 3, that's 90,000. So that's something that somebody is investing in her, and they view as part of their investment that she goes back to the Philippines. So for instance, if she's on some kind of Fulbright scholarship or something like that, those are very, 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 very hard to get the waiver.
Okay.
So I think she needs to dig deep into it should all be on the front of the DS 2019, which is her paperwork that she has. Okay. And then I would just spend time researching does this agency, whatever it is that is sponsoring me, are they, you'll see on Google, are they the kind of people that waive it? Are they not the kind of, are they the kind of people that fight it?
Okay.
And so I think based on what you've told me so far, I suspect she's probably going to have to go back home for those 2 years. And then what really sucks is then you're talking about the embassy in Manila, and that's like the slowest embassy of all time.
Uh-huh. Okay. So find out what type of J1 she got, and then
And how much money has it cost the supporting agency or government? Yeah.
okay, I'll check on that. All right. Thank you very much, Jim.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on the show.
Sure.
All right. All right. Let's say hi to Brain. Hi, Brain.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Very well. Thank you for your time.
Sure.
I have a quick question for you. I have a friend of mine who came in with a J1 visa, to work for 2 years. Now the visa have expired. It expired in 2020. So during that time, he couldn't go back, because of the COVID. So now he's out of status. What are his options in getting legal status here?
You said he is subject to 212E or he isn't?
Sorry?
You said he is subject to the 2-year return home or he is not?
I'm not really sure. I'll ask him, but his J1 visa is just for like a working visa for 2 years.
Did he work at like a hotel or was he teaching in school or what was he doing? Do you know?
He was working health facility
But doing what?
as a caregiver. He was working as a caregiver.
Well, if you're out of status in the United States, then the question then becomes, how do you get back into status? And so, of course, first things first, if he leaves the United States, he has a 10-year bar on coming back because he's overstayed his visa by more than 1 year, or overstayed his time here by more than 1 year. So if he walks across the border to Canada or Mexico or flies back home, 10-year bar on coming back. Right. So then the question is, how do you get into status if you're in the United States? Well, let's say he had an employer that wanted to sponsor him. You can't go from a visa overstay, an expired J1 to an H1B. So that's not going to work. He could apply for asylum, but that probably should have happened a long time ago. You're supposed to apply for asylum within a year of arrival. So that's probably dead. He can't apply for the diversity visa because the diversity visa, again, you'd have to be in status in order to participate. So really all you're talking about, the only thing that's going to work for him is if he marries a U.S. citizen. Otherwise, he's going to be not able to get a green card. The only way he can really do it is if he got into a real marriage.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. I will send this information to him. And thank you, Jim, for taking your
You
time.
got it. Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Say hi to Noella. Hi, Noella.
Hi, Jim.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me?
Barely. I'll try to turn it up a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question about I'm traveling tomorrow. So they see so the paper shows that I live in USA before getting married. So I don't know why they need the paper from embassy. I'm confused.
I don't understand. What are you asking?
Shows like I'm still single, I'm not married. They need the paper from embassy. I don't know how can I get the paper.
Are you in the United States or are you?
Yes, I'm in United States. Yes.
So are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
So you're a U.S. citizen and you want to go to some other country to get married, and in order to get married, you got to prove that you have the ability to get married. Is that right? That you're single?
I'm single. Yeah. So they need that proof. So how they need that paper from embassy? I don't know what they need.
Did you say you're leaving tomorrow?
Yes, I'm leaving tomorrow.
And you want to get married on this trip that you're going right now?
I'm getting married in July 2nd. So they need the paper before the date.
Yeah, so that all turns on a state by state thing. That's called an apostille. I think that's what that's called. It depends on the state. So You need to call whoever issues birth certificates where you live and ask them, how do I get this apostille from the state that shows that I'm free to marry?
Mm. Who do I call? I don't know.
You call, like, what state do you live in?
New York.
Yeah, so you have to call the New York, like, Division of Vital Statistics or the Division of Family Records or whatever. There's some agency for the state of New York that's in charge of birth certificates and marriage certificates. That's who you have to call, probably in Albany.
I was not born here.
Yeah, it's not about, that's fine, but that doesn't matter where you were born.
Oh, okay. You say who can I talk to? The New York.
Yeah, New York,
Can I
like,
get the link, like the place I can?
I don't know what it is. That's all state law. I'm just an immigration lawyer. I don't know how each state does it.
So how can I reach them?
You got find out. It's whoever gives out birth certificates. That's the place to start. So call the place that gives out birth certificates in New York, and then ask them, how do I get proof that I'm free to marry?
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Good luck. You got it. All right. Let's say hi to Juan People. Hi, Juan People.
Hey, hi, Jim. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been following you for a long period of time, and this is my first time, and actually set my laptop. And
well, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. I've been watching you for a long period of time, and the good thing is that anytime I'm at work, I put in my earphones and then I'll be listening to your program.
That's
and
great.
It's been wonderful. And then the great thing is you don't even watch ad. We don't, because I've not paid for my YouTube, so I don't watch any ad from your videos, and it's awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Great.
Doing a great job.
What can I help you with?
So I came here in 2017. Oh, I came here 2018, 3rd December 2018, and they gave me 2 years because I'm married to an American citizen. They gave me a 2 years green card. So when I came here, when on December 3rd, 2020, I was supposed to file Form 751 to remove conditions on my 2 years green card.
Yep.
So at that time, I didn't have no idea, and we called them to see. Of course, when they say when it's 90 days to your due date, you should file 7. Because I didn't have no idea, so I have to call them. I don't know what document to file, so I called them, and then the USCIS told me, oh, there's one representative, a lady, told me, oh, you need to file Form 485. So I was like, oh, okay, because I have no idea about how immigrant these things work. So yeah, so she told me, and I did. And then a few months later, they approved the case. They said my blah 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 have been approved. I went to medicals and all that kind of stuff, waste a lot of money, and I was scheduled for an interview. So when I went to the interview, the consulate was like, I went with my wife, and the consulate said, oh, Isaac, you don't need to file 485. And I'm like, oh, so there's nothing he can do about it. That's what she said. He can't do anything about it because my file is not in the system for them to approve me for the 7.5. He can't do it. Actually, he can't do anything about it. So I have to go back and file the 751, the I-751. And so she printed the forms for me to go home and fill it out. My wife was really worried. I was worried
because now you're past the 2 years on the start date of your green card.
So she told me to explain to the USCIS the reason why I'm filing late. I should make a letterhead and explain to them the reason I'm filing. So I did, and then within a few she even told me they can waive the fee for me even if I explain it. But I did, but they didn't waive the fee. But
good, smart. I would have told you the same thing.
Yeah, so we did, and then they sent me a letter saying, oh, we can't accept, you need to pay the fee. So we did, and then we touched everything, and then we sent it, and then they sent me they said they are still going through my documents, so they sent me extension letter
that
they have extended my green card into 2 years. So yeah, and since then I've been waiting and waiting, and I heard you saying, oh, when I look at their website, they said your case is ready to be scheduled for an interview. But I've been watching your videos. You say when they call you for a second interview, that means it's not good. So I was really scared a little bit. I'm really
But
scared.
you haven't had an interview on your 751, right?
No.
Yeah, so that's not a second interview. That's still your first interview. I'm not worried about your case.
Oh, okay.
I'm not worried about it. I mean, you might not even have an interview. When did you get what's the receipt date on the 751?
Can you please give me a minute?
Yeah, sure. You can just tell me roughly. I don't need the exact day. Just like around. Oh, he's going to go check. Well, that's an interesting situation. And, so many people call me up all the time and they say, Jim, I don't know if I should have 2 green card applications, one on employment, one on family at the same time. Now here, this fellow, he had a green card. And because someone at USCIS told him the wrong information, he filed a 485 and they receipted it. They took the money and they scheduled him for an interview. It wasn't until an actual thinking person, i.e. the officer sitting across from him, said, hey, you don't need a 485, you need a 751. So look how far down and how much time was wasted because that officer told him the wrong form to file, and because USCIS has a system where they'll receive and keep the filing fee for a 485 even when somebody already has their green card. It just shows you how ridiculous they are. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. So it says you're talking about the receipt date, right?
Yeah, that 751 extension letter, the 2-year extension letter. What's the date on that? What's the receipt?
It says 09/20 2021.
Yeah. So 751s right now are taking 2 years. So I think you're fine. I wouldn't be worried about this. I think you're going to be fine. I think you have a good explanation as to why you didn't file the 751 on time, and I think they'll feel bad and guilty for accepting your money for a benefit that you already had. Okay. So I think they'll take your explanation at face value. Like, no one's going to think you wasted money on a 45 just to be tricky. That would be dumb. You were basically buying something you already had. So I think they're going to just look at you as somebody who was maybe a little clueless, didn't know the right form to file, and basically lost out on $1,225.
Yeah. I was surprised that she gave the representative gave me a wrong information.
Well, that shouldn't surprise you because that happens all the time. And this is why everyone who's watching this, you need to talk to a real immigration lawyer, not to immigration people on the phone. They don't know what in the hell they're talking about. They basically just told someone who has a green card to apply for a green card. So that's about as dumb as, like, I could see them maybe saying file a 990, which is a replacement green card. We see that happen from time to time, but I've never in my whole life heard of USCIS telling someone to file for a green card when they already had one, nor have I ever heard them tell someone to file for a green card when they were needing to file a 751 and they received it. They kept the money. So it just was bad all around.
Right. So I got a last question.
Sure.
So if I get my interview and everything goes through, I get my 10 years, can I apply for citizenship? Or because they already wasted my 2 years for me, can I still have to go through wait for 3 years and then file for my citizenship?
Well, when you get your green card, the 10-year green card will have the start date of the 2-year green card.
Okay.
So you can apply 3 years. You could apply probably based on the timeline of what you're telling me. You could probably apply right now, but I wouldn't because your 751 is already messy. I'd wait till the 751 gets approved, and then I would file for citizenship right after that.
Okay.
And then the other thing I would think about is if at that point you're at the 5-year mark, then apply under the 5-year rule. Don't apply for under the 3-year rule if it's close. Just wait the full 5 years because you're getting pretty close. You'll be pretty close by the time the 751 gets approved. That way you don't have to worry about the marriage at all.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jim. You're doing a great job. And
awesome. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Thanks for calling.
Your wife, Armani, and Jim, Daniel, and everybody. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Let's say hi to Anamul. Hi, Anamul.
Hello, Jim. Can you hear me?
I got you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, no problem. So basically, I have two questions. So the first one is recently my sister, she became a US citizen, but I'm on F1 visa right now. So
Yeah.
right now, what does she have to do in order to get me the green card?
Nothing. Don't. If she files for an I-130 for you, you'll never get another non-immigrant visa. What country are you from?
I'm from Bangladesh.
So that's like a 14 or 15-year wait. I don't think you should realistically plan on coming through your sister if you want to stay in the United States. If you want to go back to Bangladesh and wait there for the next 15 years, I think that's okay. But if your F1 stamp has expired and you need to go back home for Eid or some other festival and your visa's expired and you have this I-130 on file with your sister, they're probably not going to let you come back to finish your studies.
Okay. So my another question is like regarding the birth certificate. So I mean there are some difference in my parents' name. For example, like my mother name, changed her last name, and my father had a new first name. Yeah. However, this name were not changed on my sister's birth certificate, the one who got citizenship of the United States. So
Yeah.
right now, if she applied for my parents' application, will it affect the processing of getting the family-based immigration visa?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, especially if they're overseas, they like to play games with that. Now they're used to. I would say we've had a lot of cases from Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh, and they're used to names. Like a lot of people have like 5 or 6 or 4 names. So they're
Yeah.
used to things being as long as I mean, she would have had to submit all that stuff when she became a citizen, so it's all consistent. At the very least, they might just ask her to provide more evidence that they're her parents.
Okay.
But that shouldn't be too hard if she lived her whole life with them. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Okay. That's like additional support evidence. Am I right?
Maybe I think
Kind
yeah,
of.
maybe they might ask for that, but probably not.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it.
Sure, that was easy.
Have a good day. Take care.
Okay, bye. All right, let's say hi to.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Jim.
How you doing, Mr.?
I wish I was having a great day, but unfortunately, after
Uh-oh.
so I came to the country in 2010 on a student visa, and I got married in 2015, and my green card was approved in 2016, and then the
Okay.
condition was removed.
Okay.
Immediately the condition was removed, I lost my dad in 2019, and I applied for my citizenship in 2019.
Okay.
In 2020, my interview was canceled due to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I was living in Chicago, canceled. And then in 2020, after 18 months, my interview was scheduled to somewhere in St. Louis, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
On getting to the interview, the immigration officer, she was like, "Your interview is canceled. Your file wasn't sent to our office." I was like, "But ma'am, I live in Chicago. Why are you bringing me here?" They were like, "Well, we thought you live in Peoria." I'm like, "My spouse, I couldn't find a job in Peoria." They said your jurisdiction is in Peoria. Your interview is supposed to be in St. Louis. That's why we took you to St. Louis. I said, my spouse lives in Peoria, which is 3 hours away from me. I live in Chicago because I couldn't find a job there. It's a rural area. So on the weekend,
plus nobody wants to live in Peoria. But
exactly. On the weekend, I get to see her. And so the interview was canceled based on that reason. They rescheduled my interview sometime. I got a notice in the mail in 2022 after waiting 33 months or 34 months that the interview was scheduled. I went to the immigration office. I got the letter in the mail. It was canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. And suddenly, it was recently scheduled. I passed the interview successfully in Chicago. The interviewer did not ask me any documents. I'm currently getting my master's. I've never committed any crime. I've never been arrested for a DUI or any just minor traffic offense, maybe running a red light, which I pay for. I pay all of the tickets. The immigration officer asked me, "Have you been living with your spouse?" I said, honestly speaking, my spouse, she has a career that is going on for her, and she has been in Peoria for a very long time. And she has an elderly parent that she's taking care of. But on the weekend, we just see each other. I would like to live there, but I can't seem to find a job there. The immigration officer was like, "Yeah, I understand, blah, blah, blah." Then he gave me a decision he took a decision saying a decision cannot be made on your case. After waiting 1 month, I checked it today. It says your N400 is denied. And I've contacted your office and I'm still waiting for the denial letter because I don't see any reason why my case should be denied.
I think of one. I can think of one. And first of all, let me say that I'm sorry that they've treated you so poorly, because I would say 33 months, 2 offices, and like 4 cancellations is sort of unacceptable. And I'm sorry that that happened. And I'm sorry that you're upset. During the Trump times, you know, they were always every day thinking up ways to make life harder for immigrants. And one of the changes that they made during that time, which I think might apply here, you tell me if I'm wrong. In the old days, so if we operate from the assumption that naturalization is only supposed to happen 5 years after you get your green card, if that's the general rule, then the exception is that you can do it after 3 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen. Did you apply on the 3-year rule or the 5-year rule?
The 3-year rule. Immediately I clocked the 3-year rule. I did that right away.
So the thing that the Trump team did that made that harder is they said, and just so you know, I've had probably 15 cases in the old days under the 3-year rule where the couple did not live together in any of those 3 years, right? And that used to just sail right through. One of the rules that the Trump team came up with was, we don't care why he's in Chicago and wife is in Peoria. We don't care. It's a black letter rule that if you haven't been living together in marital union every day for the 3 years, it's subject to denial. So I think that's why your case got denied, because of that stupid rule.
So I contacted the office. Is there anything that can be done about it?
Well, my friend, here's the thing. What's the date of your marriage? Or what's the start date on your green card?
Oh, I have a 10-year green card right now.
What's the start date on it?
On the start date on my green card, let me just put it out. The start date is 2016 October.
Yeah, so here's the thing. We could appeal the N400, but I would probably recommend you file a new N400 on the 5-year rule.
Okay, so I've clocked the 5-year rule already, right?
Yeah, you're already at 5 years, so I would just say forget it. I don't want to mess around having to prove up anything related to the marriage. I don't want to prove up why I was in Chicago and why she was in Peoria. I'm someone applying for citizenship with a 5-year green card, and then all that other stuff sort of goes away.
Okay, and on another thing, Mr. Jim, that I'm kind of concerned of is like, so when I was with her, we had joint utilities together, right? So, but she sold her house because actually her mom's husband passed away. So the dad kind of passed away, and the mom, she's kind of in a wheelchair or something like that. And then she had to sell her house to go take care of her mom. Technically, that house does not belong to her, so she took off my name from the utility bill, because that house does not belong. But we have like the bank statements, we have joint pictures, we have vacation that we've taken together. But I was just hoping, like, hope that is not going to be a problem, because she had to sell that house. She had no choice. And this current place she's staying, the house that the mom just bought, that house belongs to the mom. It doesn't belong to her. And she's taking care of her mom right now.
That's okay. I mean, but everything's okay with you and her. Like, she's not going to dump on you if USCIS comes knocking. Everything's cool. It's just that you have to live apart for work.
Exactly. And this is because of Peoria is a small town. I couldn't find jobs there. Like, it was tough. And I have student loans to pay. And I've never committed any crime. I've never been arrested. I obey the laws. I pay my taxes on time, and I find my taxes. I give what belongs to Caesar.
I'm sorry, they suck. This is example number 8,412 as to why they suck. People that are watching this show can feel in your heart how much you want to become a citizen and how much they screwed you over, how they did you wrong. But that whole issue that you just raised about your wife's mother's house and all that stuff, that's the great thing about applying on the 5-year rule, is you won't have to prove all that stuff. You'll want to have it ready, because they may say, well, we gave you this green card because you're married and we have these questions about your marriage. But So that's a good reason to have it as a defensive thing, but we really take away a lot of that argument if we apply on the 5-year rule.
Okay, so once I get the denial, I already contacted your office. I would like to use you guys to handle this case.
Yeah, when you get it, tell whoever your lead person is to send this to Jim. Say I was on the show on Monday and Jim wants to see this.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thanks. Good luck, my friend.
Thank you. Have a great day, Mr. Jim.
You got it, buddy. All right, everyone. So that's the deal. That's how they do you. I posted a thing yesterday that some of the people that caught that shooter in Brooklyn were undocumented, and now they're in deportation because they helped the New York City police find that shooter. And that's what they do. This is how they treat people. You heard he's been a grad student doing everything he's supposed to do. He had his interview canceled 3 or 4 times, sent from one office to another because those clowns can't do their job properly. And he gets ultimately denied. And you can hear in his voice how sad he was. We certainly feel sorry for him. But that's the agency that we're dealing with. That's the kind of people that we're dealing with. And that's the incompetence that we're dealing with. Hope this all makes sense. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I did the show a little bit differently today. I'm looking straight into the camera, so I can't see the comments. I didn't really get to have the back and forth with all my good friends like Pineapple and Rocio and everybody, all my good friends. So we'll see if we like this. I think there might be a way where I can put this camera and still at least be able to see the comments. And actually, I can't see the person's face when I'm talking to them. So let me know if you like that or not. I don't know if I like it. It felt sort of strange. But actually, I do think that it made me listen better. And it really is more like a radio show. I had to really listen. And I will say the time went by really quickly because I was listening so intently. So love to hear your feedback. Love to know what you think about this. And if you have a moment and could leave us a quick 5-star review, reviewhackinglaw.com, I'd really appreciate it. We are very close to getting our 500th 5-star review, and that would be quite a feather in our cap. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central.